Federal.com, AmericanFederal.com.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Fewer Americans sought unemployment benefits last week.
U.S. applications for unemployment benefits in the week ending November 22nd dropped 6,000 from the previous week to 216,000. According to FactSet, that is below the 230,000 forecast by economists. The job cuts recently announced by large companies such as UPS and Amazon typically take weeks or months to fully implement and may not yet be reflected in the claims data. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
U.S. consumers were much less confident in the economy in November in the aftermath of the government shutdown, weak hiring, and stubborn inflation. The Conference Board says its confidence index dropped to 88.7. The closing bell on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 314 points, and NASDAQ up by about 189. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your Thanksgiving weekend forecast. Clear and chilly this evening. A cold front arrives. Our low is 39. Tomorrow for Turkey Day, mostly sunshine in our sky, but we'll only have a high warming to 59. Tomorrow night's low, frigid 28. Now Friday, plentiful sunshine, but a high temperature of only 51. While on Saturday at Williams-Brice, quite cold. Kickoff at noon, temperature around 46 degrees. Have a great Thanksgiving. Safe travels. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
This is Sports Talk, the voice of South Carolina sports. And this week, everything changes. This week, it's the Palmetto Bowl week. 2 programs, 2 fan bases, 1 game that defines a year. Built on tradition, fueled by rivalry.
There's a lot of rivalries out there. This is more of a domination. Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California, and the university in this state always has been, always will be, Clemson.
We are the University of South Carolina. There's some great moments that are about to take place here by just continuing to be us. We dominate the fourth quarter. That's how we win football games, and that's what we're going to do today.
From the upstate to the low country, from orange to garnet, the talk, the tension, the countdown, it all leads here. Because in South Carolina, this isn't just football. It's pride. It's legacy. It's the Palmetto Bowl. This is Sports Talk, the Palmetto Bowl Week edition.
And welcome in, everybody. It is the Wild Wednesday night edition. Sports Talk Media Network here on Palmetto Bowl Week. Hope you've had a wonderful day, enjoying the last of this really nice weather. It's going to turn a little chilly here moving forward, but that's okay. It's not going to be that bad. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving as you head out and about tonight. We really appreciate you as our listeners, as our affiliates, as our sponsors. We wouldn't be here without you. We're very thankful for your long-time attention to what we do here on Sports Talk, and we look forward to continuing for a long, long time. So welcome in. If you want to join us, if you haven't been able to get through to share your picks or any comments about the game, now would be a good time to do it. We'll open up the phone lines. We will take calls. Phone number 888-898-2525. That is the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. You can also reach us via our text line. That number is 803-900-4847, brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance in Columbia. So we are counting it down, of course, to the game on Saturday, and both teams going through their workouts today, and they'll have workouts tomorrow. Then Clemson will bus on down to Columbia on Friday afternoon. They'll have some kind of workouts tomorrow. I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Of course, in the words of Will Muschamp, Thanksgiving, it's just a meal. Well, it's a meal, and it's a little bit more than that for these guys because they'll be practicing, getting in their final little workouts, and then settling in and getting ready for the game on Saturday with a noon kickoff. South Carolina's still a slight favorite going in. So, coming up tonight, Lee Sterling will join us at about 6:50 for his Sterling picks, including the Palmetto Bowl and other rivalry games. We'll have the Chalk Talk session tonight with Coach Reedy and Coach Johnson, and moving up from tomorrow night, since we don't have a show tomorrow night, tonight we'll have the M&M boys. I've touched base with both Will and Corey. Both plan to be with us tonight at 7:35. We'll work in some recruiting information as well. Also, we'll hear from Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik and from South Carolina nickelback or sometimes safety, depending on how they use him, Jelon Kilgore. So we got all that coming your way tonight here on Sports Talk. Again, the phone number, 888-898-2525. If you want to give us your final thoughts, maybe it will be your final thoughts tonight, or maybe, of course, you'll wait till Friday. But if you want to share your thoughts on the game, get in your picks and all that, we'll do that. We'll also hit up some of these text messages that continue to come in. Some we haven't gotten to yet. Some are just coming in this afternoon. So we got a lot to do here tonight on Sports Talk. The South Carolina women are playing basketball as we speak out in Las Vegas, and they're leading Duke at the end of three quarters, 61-51. And Presbyterian has defeated Columbia International. This is men's basketball, 93-50. Northern Kentucky has beaten Wofford, 93-83. So we got some basketball that took place earlier today. And, of course, we've got big array of football coming up tomorrow with the NFL, starting with the Packers and the Lions at 1 o'clock in Detroit. It's going to be a war. Looking forward to that. Then you've got really – the lineup, the afternoon lineup is fantastic. You got Packers and Lions at 1, and you got Chiefs and Cowboys to follow, and then Ravens and Bengals at night. So, heck of a lineup for the NFL, especially in the day part tomorrow. Then a lot of college football rivalry games beginning on Friday. You got an NFL game on Friday as well, of course, as the NFL attempts to encroach on every bit of territory that it can encroach upon. So a lot of football ahead, basketball happening as well all over the place also. So we got all that going on. South Carolina and Clemson men basketball teams, they're back in action on Friday, back at home for their respective games on Friday. South Carolina playing Friday afternoon, as a matter of fact. So a few other things to talk about. Phone number 888-898-2525. First of all, our poll question of the week, brought to you by Larry Lucas Insurance. Call Larry at 803-799-1998 for all your insurance needs. It is Palmetto Bowl week. Of course, last week, voters favored USC over Clemson. After this past weekend's results, who are you favoring now? It's still South Carolina at 67.6% of the votes, and Clemson at 32.4% of the votes. So, Gamecock fans are feeling pretty cocky going into this game, even though they've got the poor record. I think you look at what South Carolina's body of work is. Do you feel like South Carolina's body of work is superior to Clemson's, even though Clemson's got 2 more wins? But you look at the close losses by South Carolina against teams that are ranked in the top 15 of the college football playoff ranking, and you take that into consideration, and if South Carolina could have figured out how to win those games, they'd have an entirely different season taking place. By the way, speaking of all that, and the fact that Shane Beamer is looking for a new offensive coordinator, and last night got the official word from athletics director Jeremiah Donati through Jordan Kay of the state newspaper that Beamer will be back in 2026. So any talk of a change being made by Jeremiah Donati, regardless of what happens on Saturday, that has been negated by what happened by his confirmation to Jordan Kay last night that he will have Beamer back as his coach. And thinking of that, I was talking with someone today, somebody who is a pretty good contact of mine, and shared with me an idea, maybe a little information. I told you, wasn't going to throw out a bunch of names here and there recklessly just to throw names out there about the OC job. though I was campaigning for Chad Morris. That was just a personal choice. I mean, I don't see that developing. Doesn't seem like anything like that is developing at this particular time. But a person shared with me the idea of this. This is not an unfamiliar name, but I really haven't seen it kicked around with this particular search. At least I don't think so. And that is Kendall Briles at TCU, and primarily because of the connection with Jeremiah Donati, who, of course, came to South Carolina from TCU. And Kendall Briles is in his third year as the OC, and I think he's the assistant head coach and OC at TCU. He had been at Arkansas, where he worked under Sam Pittman, and was really he was liked at Arkansas. They gave him a couple of contract extensions and raises, and then TCU came in, and Arkansas decided not to match what TCU was willing to give him, and he's gone down there. And in looking at his numbers, he's had 3 really good passing offenses in his 3 years, but not so much of a running attack. It's been a pass-oriented offense for the Horned Frogs under him. And I've read some stuff. I mean, I don't think they're having the greatest of seasons. And I've read some people a little bit antsy about Kendall Briles. I don't know why you'd be antsy. I mean, they still produce big numbers. I haven't looked into it all that closely, but that might be a name to keep an eye on as this thing plays out. Shane Beamer may have his guy by now. The end of the season for the Gamecocks will be Saturday. Now, can he announce the hire of a current offensive coordinator who is still coaching as early as next week? Is this something he would like to get done before signing day of next week to help secure offensive commitments and help maybe with some others? He's got a running back coming in, Carson Baker. Does it matter to the running back who the OC is? It might. Really, it may be something more that a quarterback would be more concerned with, because Kendall Briles would be whoever is hired as the OC would be the quarterback's coach as well. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to try and get this done before signing day on Wednesday or not. And again, the question is, can you hire a guy who is currently working with his team? Now, if the regular season's over, you're not going to the playoffs, you got some bowl game a few weeks down the road, I think things do happen in that period without too much of a problem. So, and we'll see what happens. Just a name to keep an eye on is something possible for South Carolina, along with others. The Beck guy out at Utah is another name that's been written about and talked about because he's good, and also he has a relationship with Lenore Sellers from his time both at Virginia and Syracuse. I mean, Sellers committed to him twice, once when he was at Virginia and once when he was at Syracuse. So they have a relationship there, and, does he want to come back to work with Lenore Sellers? I mean, look, BYU could be a playoff team too. They could be – I'm sorry, it's Utah. My bad. I was thinking BYU. That's Utah. He is a guy that has that prior relationship with Sellers, so that could be something to keep an eye on. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward and how quickly Beamer wants to get all this done. All right, on to some other things. We heard from South Carolina's coordinators today. In fact, Mike Furry was asked about, does he expect to, if he doesn't get the OC job, does he expect just to slide back into his receiver's job? And he didn't answer the question. He just, hey, my focus is on getting this team ready and da-da-da-da-da. So he did not answer that question. Who knows? A new OC might want to bring in his own people. He might want to bring in is Sean Elliott safe as the offensive line coach, and Furry going to go back to wide receiver? So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. One other interesting note from the coordinators, Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coordinator, was asked about, two things. He was asked about all the long field goals in the NFL. He's a former NFL guy. He was asked about, we got NFL field goals been going 69 yards? We had a 69-yarder Was that at Lambeau somebody kicked a 69-yarder? We've had like a 69-yarder, 67-yarder. Like kicking these long 60-plus yard field goals is becoming routine. And he said, I didn't know this. He said the NFL, he's talked to some people in the NFL. He said they've gone back to cooking the footballs. Like they used to throw them in dryers and heat them up and all that kind of stuff. The NFL apparently is letting them do that. They've gone back to being allowed to, I'm not going to say doctor, but do things to the football to make them carry a longer distance. So nobody, and plus the kicker's legs are very strong. And then the other question was for him, South Carolina hasn't had a 50-yard made field goal this year, and they haven't attempted very many. And he was asked if they need to get somebody who can hit from 53, 55, 57 yards. He said Max Kelly, the freshman, hit from 63 yards in practice the other day. That could be something in the ball game when you consider that Nolan Hoosier from Clemson, he can hit. He can hit from 50, 59, 60, 61 yards with as long as there's not a wind in his face. He's got a very strong leg. That could be an advantage. Not could be. That's definitely an advantage for Clemson in that particular case because they can score from a longer distance like that if they're stopped. And South Carolina does not have. They don't have. I don't think they're going to run Max Kelly out there. I don't think. They don't have that kind of leg strength right now in William Joyce. So something else to keep an eye on. In fact, that is our poll question of the day for the Palmetto Bowl. The poll question of the day: what is most likely to happen? Vicari Swain return a punt for a touchdown, or Nolan Hoosier connect on a 50-yard plus field goal? 60% of the votes say Swain's return is most likely to happen. Will Clemson punt to Vicari Swain? I misspelled Vicari's name, by the way, in the poll question. Sorry about that. Will they kick to him? Will Clemson be tempted to punt away and play defense in punting situations? Something else to consider in talking about the game. All right, let's go to the break, and we'll come back and start to hit your phone calls and your text messages at phone number 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. South Carolina leading Duke now 67-58. Under 5 minutes to play. They're out in Las Vegas in that Players Era event out there that is supposedly paying NIL dollars to the participating teams. Go hunt the money. Go hunt the money.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, here to share some great news. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, can now be used for a lifetime of learning. From K through 12 to college and beyond, saving tax-free for your child or grandchild's education has never been easier. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax-deductible and earnings grow tax-free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
We're with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. Major Downer, let's say I'm out in the woods or I'm on the water and I need to reach a DNR agent. How do I do that?
Operation Game Thief, Phil. It's been around 30-plus years. You can call us at our 24-hour hotline any time of day, 1-800-922-5431. To report wildlife violations or to get help if you're in trouble in the woods or on the water, call us at Operation Game Thief, 1-800-922-5431.
Hi, I'm Jim Corbett. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years. There's one thing I've learned about injury cases. It's you need the personal touch. You need the lawyer to get to know you and describe your damages. You don't want a case manager talking to an insurance company and then talking to you and then talking to maybe to a lawyer with limited experience at the last minute to try to settle a case. I talk to you, I find out what your case is about. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com for your injury cases.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risk that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
All right, let's get to the phones, 888-898-2525. As promised, we go to Gary over in West Columbia. First up tonight here on Sports Talk. Welcome in, Gary. How are you?
Hey, Phil, I'm fine.
Good.
I want to tell you a little Thanksgiving story with a sports twist. You remember our friend Willie Burnett?
Yes.
Brian's dad who got the Sun News?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Willie and I worked together there for 6 years. I was the advertising director. Now I left and I went to Winter Haven, Florida. And after a few months, sports director's position opened, and I got Willie to come down, and he was in heaven because that's where the Boston Red Sox trained and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to meet a bunch of players, all this good stuff. But my family and I, we were at South Carolina for Thanksgiving, and Willie's wife had not moved down. So otherwise he'd come to my house. But he looked up someone that was needy, and he found a Hispanic family, and he bought all of them Thanksgiving dinner, and he actually went and spent the day with them as well, which shows you how really a great guy that he was.
Yes.
And I always remember that every Thanksgiving. And
I didn't know him all that well because he was older, but I know his son extremely well, Brian Burnett.
Yeah, Brian.
Mm-hmm. So I know Brian extremely well.
Mr. Myrtle Beach. Yeah, he was Mr. Myrtle Beach. Everybody loved Willie.
Yeah.
And in fact, Willie and I and Doug Shaw and Chief Berg formed the first North-South committee when we brought the North-South game to Myrtle Beach. And,
really?
My staff sold, and Willie's staff produced the content for our special section and program.
That's
so
awesome.
Those were great times back
That
then.
was awesome. Yes, sir. Y'all, hey, smart move on y'all's part because the game has really thrived at Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yeah. And Willie brought in Jim Rice. You know, he grew up with Jim Rice. He used to cover to do a celebrity golf tournament. And I got to play somebody was missing. I think it was Bruce Souters. I took his place and met all kinds of ball players. I'll never forget meeting Dave Winfield. He flew out from California, didn't play in the tournament, became the awards chairman on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great guy. He told me I looked like a pitcher that he had a hard time with Oakland, and said he had a hard time getting his money out of George Steinbrenner for his charities. But those were good times.
That sounds fantastic, man. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving also. Bye-bye.
Great hearing from you. Thank you. That's a great story. Great Thanksgiving story wrapped around sports. I did not know Mr. Burnett all that well because, like I said, he actually moved down to Florida, as Gary said, but I knew of him. Then, of course, his son Brian, good friend. He worked a long time at South Carolina in sports information, so we are good friends to this day, though Brian would not say that. I think we're good friends. This came out of the Alligator today. Is the Alligator the student paper down at the University of Florida, or is that just a yeah, I think it's the student paper down there. They had a story on baseball coach Kevin O'Sullivan. The headline is not very good at all. UF baseball coach investigated for alleged verbal abuse of his child days before leave of absence. Story says O'Sullivan was identified in October by a state child welfare investigator as the subject of verbal abuse allegations made by one of his teenage children, according to law enforcement. I mean, I'm not making fun of that whatsoever. It's obviously serious. I didn't realize you could get in trouble for, yelling at your kids. Obviously, this is at a different level than yelling at your kids, right? And I'm not making fun. The records show that the State Department of Children and Families planned to remove the child from O'Sullivan's home on October 16th, 6 days before Florida announced that O'Sullivan was taking an indefinite leave of absence to address personal and family issues. The teen's abuse allegations against O'Sullivan were described to state DCF investigator and 3 county sheriff deputies, according to the sheriff's report obtained under the Florida Public Records Law. The report said sheriff deputies found no evidence of criminal activity, and court records show O'Sullivan has not been arrested or charged. In the report, the investigator wrote that the teen said O'Sullivan, who shared custody of 2 children with their mother, had been verbally abusive and is constantly yelling and screaming at the teen. The teen feels unsafe at his home and over the past 4 years has wanted to discontinue visits to the home, the report said. The teen told authorities at least 4 prior reports had been filed with the state agency, and the teen believed that no one is willing to do anything because O'Sullivan is a coach at Florida. All right. There you go. That's sort of the gist of what's going on there, and we'll be back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your Thanksgiving weekend forecast. Clear and chilly this evening. A cold front arrives. Our low is 39. Tomorrow for Turkey Day, mostly sunshine in our sky, but we'll only have a high warming to 59. Tomorrow night's low, frigid 28. Now Friday, plentiful sunshine, but high temperature of only 51. While on Saturday at Williams-Brice, quite cold. Kickoff at noon, temperature around 46 degrees. Have a great Thanksgiving. Safe travels. Odd Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey y'all, this is Ted at Flight Deck Restaurant. We are now introducing a fast and price breaker lunch special menu. Pick any item for only $9.95. Here's what we have to offer. Single grilled pork chops, spaghetti with house salad garlic bread, single grilled chicken, chicken salad cold plate, chicken tenders, small Greek salad, grilled bacon and cheese, small chef salad, pepperoni pita pizza, small chicken tender salad. All meals except salads come with one side. Come and enjoy a delicious lunch for only $9.95. Serving from 11 to 2 every day. Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks, y'all, and God bless.
Receiving conflicting. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Federal judges have allowed North Carolina to use a redrawn congressional map designed to give Republicans an additional U.S. House seat. The map targets the state's only swing seat, led by Democratic Representative Don Davis, who represents over 20 northeastern counties. A 3-judge panel denied a preliminary injunction request on Wednesday, acting after a hearing in mid-November. 2 West Virginia National Guard members who were shot just blocks from the White House are still alive and in critical condition. West Virginia's governor initially said the troops had died, but later walked back the statement to say his office was receiving conflicting reports about their condition. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 314 points. The Nasdaq rose 189. More details at srnnews.com.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do 2 things? First, it serves as an instant generator. The the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, it lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
It might be tough to picture your kid in college today, but it'll be here before you know it. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving right now. You can start with any amount. Savings grow tax-free, and friends and family can chip in too. Discover the smart, easy way to save today at FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com.
Sleep better, dream better, right here at home. Best Mattress has built a legacy of comfort in the Midlands for 97 years. Family owned, locally crafted. Visit West Columbia, Divine Street, or our newest Lexington showroom by the amphitheater to experience real American-made quality. Discover your perfect mattress with our custom comfort test. Plus, get white glove delivery and a reassuring 90-day comfort warranty. No offshore shortcuts, just honest local value. Visit bestmattress.net. Best Mattress. Sleep local. Sleep better.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
Okay, welcome back in Sports Talk Media Network. Here on this Wednesday night of Palmetto Bowl week of 2025. Good to have you with us. Phil Kornblut and the plumber. Josh Cohen here. Chris Bergen is off tonight. I think he's doing some family pre-Thanksgiving stuff.
I think he's stuffing the turkey as we speak.
Well, he is a turkey being stuffed. Happy Thanksgiving once again, everybody. I hope it's great for you. Great day for the South Carolina women. They beat Duke 83-66, trailed a little early, then a 26-12 second quarter pushed the USC women out in front, and they continued to, they actually lost the third quarter by 3, but then won the fourth quarter by 7. They win at 83-66. They shoot 47%, hold Duke to 39%. Only 1 of 10 from 3 for the Gamecocks. That doesn't bother them because they're so good inside. Duke was 8 of 20 from 3. Duke had 16 turnovers. The Gamecocks turned into 18 points. USC won the boards 43-35, including 15 offensive. They turned into 14 second chance points, 58 points in the paint for the Gamecocks, and also 24 fast break points off of 9 steals. Well, some of that off of 9 steals. So the defense travels. Gamecocks were led by Okot with 23 points and 13 rebounds. Double-double. Edwards had 22 points,
6 rebounds, 6 assists, and Latson had 12 points, couple of assists. So good, solid win. South Carolina out in Las Vegas, 83-66. I think they play is it UCLA tomorrow night, maybe? Yeah, I think it's UCLA tomorrow night. Not 100% sure, but they'll play tomorrow night in the second game. There's only, like the men's version of this event has like a lot of teams. The women's version has like 4 teams. So South Carolina, Duke, UCLA, and whoever UCLA's playing. So 83-66 South Carolina women with that victory. Let's get back to the football. Here's Cade Klubnik, Clemson quarterback. You know, what's overlooked because of the interception that ended the Tigers' hopes last year is just how good Klubnik was in that game last year. Throwing the football, running the football. He had a really nice offensive game. He has another game like that. Clemson will have a chance to win. They're going to have a chance to win anyway, but, I mean, that will enhance their chances if he has that kind of performance. He talked with the media taking questions yesterday.
What makes the environment down in South Carolina so tough to play in? And I think you've been in there once, but what makes it such a fun place to play too?
Yeah, any environment like that is great. A great stadium with passionate fans that are loud and care about their team. It's always a fun place to play. And obviously I've been down there before and been to a lot of places like it. So it's great, and it's fun to play down there, and I'm excited to go back.
Kate, as you've had a few days to sort of process your emotions in the aftermath of Saturday's senior day, what makes you most thankful about your time here at Clemson and getting that final sort of standing ovation there?
Yeah, just kind of got to process it kind of Saturday and Sunday, and just how, I guess, just unique and how special that moment was. I wasn't planning on having that, and I think even like last week, somebody asked just, how am I, going to be, I guess, expecting my emotions to be during the game, and I kind of just told myself I'm just going to let it be and kind of let it be natural, and whatever happens, and it was really unique, and it was just really special, and I wanted to come to Clemson and have an impact, and whether that was the people that I'm around every day, the community that I'm around, just this fan base, but also just my teammates and stuff. And I wanted to come and win a national championship when I was at Clemson, and unfortunately I won't have gotten that done. But to, I guess, kind of leave Death Valley that way made it almost feel like I still had a great impact here, and that's going to last a long time. So that meant a lot to me, and that just I think just it meant a lot to me, and just everything that this place has meant to me. And I got 2 more games left. I'm continuing to give everything I have, and excited to be able to wear that paw 2 more times. So,
being in this state as long as you have been, have you formed any kind of relationship with Lenore Sellers in your time, competing, and then maybe were you able to watch at all what he did last year as a quarterback and appreciate that?
Yeah, he's a heck of a player, and I got to go to a nonprofit event and speak to some underprivileged people kind of in the coast near Charleston and with Lenore. So we got to go out there, I think it was in April maybe, and got to spend a few days out there, and it was me and him, and man, he's a great guy, just has such a heart for people, and I got great words for him, just his character and the guy that he is. It's hard to talk bad about that guy, and he's a great player and a great person, and I wish nothing but the best for him. And so he's a great person, and I've really enjoyed getting to know him.
Being an older player on this roster and having experience in this kind of week, and how do you kind of maybe teach the younger players to handle the emotions and treat it like it's any other game?
Yeah, I mean, you have to go about it like it's any other game, but it's also it's a season of its own, and it is a game that lasts forever. And until you've really played it, you don't really understand it. So if you're a young guy, and thankfully we don't have too many of those. A lot of guys have kind of lived this game, and just go play free and go play your game. And that's what I would kind of tell these guys that haven't maybe played in it. But the guys that have, you kind of know what comes with it.
It's a game that lasts forever. How much does the end of last year's game stick with you to this day?
It's definitely been something that I've thought about every day since.
Was that your worst day in your Clemson career? Would you say that was your worst day as far as the feeling?
It's probably up there. Yeah. It was probably up there. Like I said, I've been thinking about it ever since then, and excited to go attack this week and to the journey of this week. And yeah, I mean, it was a really painful day. It was also a great day because I got told we were going to go play in the ACC championship game. So that was also an awesome day later that night. So I remember that feeling too very, very well, and going to win the ACC championship game a week later. So it's definitely a roller coaster of emotions in those 7 days, but I remember that feeling for sure.
All right, there you go, Cade Klubnik. Yeah, it was tough loss for them, but then later that afternoon they got the word that they were going to the ACC championship, and they got that done. In his one appearance in Columbia, Klubnik was 15 of 27 for 100 yards with a long of 39. He rushed for 52 yards with a long of 19. Remember, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of offense in that game. Tigers won it 16-7. It was 10-7, and then Clemson kicked field goals in the second and third, and they won it 16-7. Now, South Carolina, Jalen Kilgore, one of the standout defensive backs for the Gamecocks, maybe their best defensive back, maybe a guy that's going to move on to the NFL after this season. We'll find out not too long after the game, I'm sure, what his future plans are. He'll be working on the other side to try to contain Klubnik and that Clemson offense. He talked with the media yesterday, took questions.
Jalen, what did the defensive performance you guys had this past weekend do for y'all in getting ready for this game coming up?
It just gave, I feel like not just a defensive point, but the whole team just gave us a boost of confidence to show how well we can play. And just when we put everything together with the yards we can put up on offense and the stops we can get on defense, it's just playing complementary football together and just keep doing that week to week.
What does complementary football look like to you?
I would just say offense helping the defense helping the offense, and special team helping both of us. So defense getting off the ball, defense getting off the field on third downs, getting turnovers, offense scoring in the red zone, moving the field, and special team just flipping the field, putting the defense in a better position.
What have you seen on tape from Cade Klubnik? And you guys have had a lot of success against him before. What's it going to take to beat him again this weekend?
Just try to keep him in the pocket. Don't let his confidence get too high. Just keep him at a low level. Just make sure we keeping pressure on him, keeping him trying to move, keep his eyes looking, and make sure we locking down the receivers. Keep him thinking.
You're obviously going to have probably an NFL decision after this season. When do you start talking about that with your family and your coaches? Is that something that's started, or will start after the Clemson game?
Yeah, after the season, I'm focused on Clemson this week.
Going back to when you first heard about it, Jalen, did you watch the games on TV? Is there one play, one game that really sticks out to you?
I say one game that sticks out was the big hit from DJ Swearinger, a viral clip that always everybody sees. So that's probably one of the best clips I've seen from the game so far.
Does it seem kind of crazy to you that South Carolina hasn't beaten Clemson at home since 2013? And what would it mean to you to break that streak?
It would mean a lot. We was just talking about that in our little team meeting. So just beating them back to back, and then just coming in and just beating them at home since 2013. That would mean a lot for this team, and that'll cap off our season with a good note.
All right, Jalen Kilgore, see what kind of game he has for the Gamecocks. By the way, they came out with the playoff rankings last night, was talking about Beck, the coordinator at Utah, and Utah is 13th, so they're right on the verge. So that could be a guy that if you're trying to go after him, you might have to wait for if they get in to the 12-team playoff. What does Lee Sterling think? We'll find out.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina, like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
All right, Lee Sterling coming up. He's on a show in Seattle, wrapping that up. He's had to kind of move some things around, so we'll be jumping on board with him in the next couple of minutes. Get to some of these text messages. Thank you so much for all the text messages here. Great show. Loved a great show lineup tonight, Phil. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Josh and Chris, even though he's at home getting stuffed, with the laughing emoji there. That's from the 864. So thank you for that. Always feel free to put your name on there, make it a little more personal. Texas tomorrow night. That must be talking about South Carolina women. They're playing Texas tomorrow night. Okay. Thank you for that. From the 803. I like just giving area codes. Makes us sound big. From the 803. Gamecock Tony from Lancaster. I'm going with 2022 score, USC 31-30. Actually, he sent that in on Monday. Here's his new one. To Phil, Chris, and Josh, have a great Thanksgiving. Go Cox. Okay, thank you for that. And, no, we'll hold that. We'll hold that till Friday. What else we got? Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Hope everyone enjoys time with friends and family. Thank you very much. From the 864, let's see, Eddie. Eddie here, Phil. Happy Thanksgiving to you and family, and Josh and family, and Chris. Blessings to you, my friends. Thanks for the coverage. Eddie, thank you very much. Appreciate hearing from you as always. Always a pleasure to get your text messages. Let's see what else we got here. Don't forget, if you still got time to send in your picks, and if you hit it on the noggin, take you out to lunch at Seawell's. This is from LG843. I hope Panthers will finally draft a Clemson player this year. They just signed a Clemson player, Isaiah Simmons. Everything will work out that way with the defense talent and running back Randall. Tepper should be a donor to USC NIL funds since all he's given to the college. God bless. He has given a lot to South Carolina. They've sort of, I don't know why, I guess just trying to not make amends or they feel guilty or anything, but I just guess he feels like it's the thing to do. This is from Lee in North Carolina. Hearing Dabo say the word funnest just confirms that he had the same English teacher at the University of Alabama as Frank Howard and Danny Ford. That's true. If you weren't with us last night during his press conference yesterday, Dabo Swinney used the word funnest to talk about the game and how much he enjoys the game. Called it the funnest game. And so we made a little fun of his use of the word funnest. Adam has got Clemson 27 and South Carolina 20. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate the pick. And Gamecocks, this is from the 803. Gamecocks have the better athletes, and we will win. Sellers will hurt your feelings, talking to the Clemson fans. All right. I think a lot will be on Sellers' shoulders. I think Clemson is going to try and punish him if they get a chance. They're playing with vengeance. They're angry over last year. I'm sure Wade Woodaz has seen the video of Sellers shrugging him off at about the 5-yard line when he scored the winning touchdown. Clemson defensively this week, they have worked repeatedly on tackling and getting people to the ground. Let's see here. Let's see. Most of the Corn, how much does the baseball team? This is from Hank, going back to talking about women's basketball. And I mentioned how much money women's basketball loses every year. Corn, how much does the baseball team lose each year? Or men's track? Or golf? Well, it's not $5 million. I can promise you that. I mean, they don't have a coach that's making $4 million plus to start with. They don't have that on their budget line, so to speak. How are we looking with Lee? How we looking?
I've continued to call him and to no avail.
No avail. All right, you want to take this call? Shall we take? Let's just take it blindly. You want to take it blindly? Let's go blindly into the night. Let's go blindly into the night.
If we take this call, I cannot call out to Lee. Just keep that in mind.
Well, we don't have enough time to do Lee now. We're down to only 4 minutes in the segment. Then. Well, we got to do Lee. We'll do Lee. See if we can work Lee back in at around 7:20. I'll let you handle that, Mr. Producer. No, I don't want to do him then. We'll have to figure it out. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air, whoever you are. It's you.
Phil.
Hey. Oh, it's Keith.
I didn't know what.
It's Keith.
I didn't know what in the world. I was just sitting there listening.
Yeah. We're just going.
Plummer hadn't done his job and said, "Who's calling?"
Well, I told him just to take it blindly because we've been trying to get our man Lee, and Lee's on another show, and we're going to have to kind of work around his segment. So, what's going on, sir?
Nothing. I just wanted to call and wish all y'all, you, Chris, Plummer, happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy your time with your family, because I know in your vocation, as in mine, you don't get that opportunity often. So have a happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yeah, but you being a preacher, you got a much bigger family. You got a flock. So you deal with a flock.
Sometimes I wonder if it's a herd, but I like the flock better. Look, y'all have a great evening. Have you given? Have you given your score yet?
Yeah, I said it on Monday. South Carolina 24-17. Did I tell you how it's going to happen? Have I said how it's going to happen?
No, you hadn't told me that. Tell me.
Well, here's how it's going to happen. I thought I did say how it's going to happen. Here's how it's going to happen. Because, I'm pretty good at picking this South Carolina Clemson thing here in recent years. I kind of feel like I have magical powers. I think when I say it kind of comes to fruition. 24-17 this year. And for those who always want to say, he's a Gamecock. No, I've picked Clemson to win many times in the past, people. All right. But this year, I think South Carolina's a little bit better. Forget the record. Throw the record book out the window. It's going to be a 17-17 game, about 3 minutes to go. And South Carolina's going to drive it to about the Clemson 40. They're going to run a play. They're going to run a jet sweep with Jalen Sellers coming around because that's become one of their pet plays. And Lenore Sellers is going to take the snap. He's going to turn. He's going to fake it to his brother. He's going to roll right. Nick Harbor's going to be split out right. Clemson's defense is going to be peeking into the backfield, and Harbor is going to get behind the corner and the safety over there. He's going to run a post, and Sellers is going to hit him on the post at about the 10-yard line. He's going to run it in for the touchdown.
Well, Phil, if that happens, I'm going to have you preach next Sunday, okay? Look, y'all have a great evening, and always enjoy the show.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, and then Clemson will have the football, and unfortunately, Klubnik will throw an interception to end the game. Listen, you gotta have an answer, you gotta have a score, and you gotta have a explanation. Yes, sir.
You should have how you pay for your weather app, right? And it tells you 60 days in advance. You should do this for the season, how every single game is going to go for the entire season.
I don't have – this is the only game I have that feel for. It really is because I see these teams so much throughout the season.
But you have no clue about next year's game, correct?
No. We'll worry about that next year. Hey, Phil, happy Thanksgiving. Carolina 19-16 over Clemson. Scott, thank you very much. We'll put your answer in the archive. What's the story with Lee?
Yeah, he called in. And it was about a minute ago, and I have no time, so we're going to coordinate a different time.
Okay. Let's coordinate a different time because we got to have him on. Let's coordinate a different time. When we come back, however, it will be time for Chuck and Ellis. Give them all the time we can give them. And then after the bottom of the hour break, it'll be the M&M boys. Looking forward to hearing from them. Working some recruiting also. We'll be back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. 2 National Guard troops are in critical condition after being shot near the White House.
A suspect who is in custody was also shot and has injuries that are not believed to be life-threatening. Emergency medical responders transported all 3 victims to a hospital. President Trump, who's in Florida celebrating Thanksgiving, warned in a statement on social media that the, quote, animal who shot the guardsman will pay a very steep price. Hundreds of National Guard members from the district in several states have been patrolling the nation's capital after President Trump in August issued an emergency order in the Capitol, federalizing the local police force and sending in the Guard from 8 states and D.C. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
Fewer Americans sought unemployment benefits last week.
U.S. applications for unemployment benefits in the week ending November 22nd dropped 6,000 from the previous week to 216,000. According to FactSet, that is below the 230,000 forecast by economists. The job cuts recently announced by large companies such as UPS and Amazon typically take weeks or months to fully implement and may not yet be reflected in the claims data. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Federal judges have allowed North Carolina to use a redrawn congressional map designed to give Republicans an additional U.S. House seat. The map targets the state's only swing seat held by Democratic Representative Don Davis, who represents over 20 northeastern counties. A 3-judge panel denied a preliminary injunction request on Wednesday, acting after a hearing in mid-November. On Wall Street, a good day as the Dow was up by 314 points. The Nasdaq rose 189. The S&P 500 advanced 46 and oil up to $58.60 a barrel. More at Town Hall.
This is Dennis Prager for AmFed Coin and Bullion. There's something about the feel of a gold coin in your hand and the way the light reflects off its intricate details that has always captivated me. Nick Grovich, AmFed's owner, turned that same passion into his livelihood. Nick began collecting coins as a teen, and that interest grew into a nationally respected business offering only the finest quality coins at the most competitive prices. But the truth is that although Nick is a rare coin dealer, he doesn't believe in rare coins. Rare coins do not make sound investments, but they do make dealers a lot of money. See, that's part of what I respect about him. AmFed specializes in buying non-performing numismatic coins and turning them into gold or silver investments that provide liquidity and perform competitively against the market. Whether you're buying or selling, call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
The Trump administration says pharmaceutical companies have agreed to slash the Medicare prices for 15 prescription drugs. Bob Agnew reports.
The agreement comes after months of negotiation and is expected to produce billions in savings for older adults. But the net prices unveiled on Tuesday are not precisely what Medicare recipients will pay at their pharmacy counters, because those final amounts will depend on each individual's plan and how much money they spend each year on prescriptions. Bob Agnew reporting.
Soldiers in Guinea-Bissau have appeared on state television to say they've seized power in the country following reports of gunshots near the presidential palace. The president has told French media that he has been deposed and arrested. Wednesday's events occurred 3 days after national elections. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters. Brussels Airport.
On-point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your Thanksgiving weekend forecast. Clear and chilly this evening. A cold front arrives. Our low is 39. Tomorrow for Turkey Day, mostly sunshine in our sky, but we'll only have a high warming to 59. Tomorrow night's low, frigid, 28. Now Friday, plentiful sunshine, but a high temperature of only 51. While on Saturday at Williams-Brice, quite cold. Kickoff at noon, temperature around 46 degrees. Have a great Thanksgiving. Safe travels. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
This is Sports Talk, the voice of South Carolina sports. And this week, everything changes. This week, it's the Palmetto Bowl week. 2 programs, 2 fan bases, 1 game that defines a year. Built on tradition, fueled by rivalry.
There's a lot of rivalries out there. This is more of a domination. Carolina's in Chapel Hill and USC's in California, and the university in this state always has been, always will be, Clemson.
We are the University of South Carolina! There's some great moments that are about to take place here by just continuing to be us. We dominate the fourth quarter. That's how we win football games, and that's what we're going to do today.
From the upstate to the low country, from orange to garnet, the talk, the tension, the countdown, it all leads here. Because in South Carolina, this isn't just football. It's pride. It's legacy. It's the Palmetto Bowl. This is Sports Talk, the Palmetto Bowl Week edition.
Just wants to make you go run through a brick wall, doesn't it? I want Chuck Reedy pulling on my face mask and telling me, block that linebacker coming off the edge. I want Ellis Johnson spitting in my face, telling me, hit that guy lower, get him on the ground. That's what I want. Yes. None of this mamby-pamby coaching that you get today. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Please don't transfer. Let's get to the gents.
Get ready for a deep dive into the X's and O's.
This is Chalk Talk with coaches Chuck Reedy and Ellis Johnson on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, time to welcome in two of the greats, Chuck Reedy, Ellis Johnson. Happy Thanksgiving to the two of you. We hope you have a great holiday with your families. Coach Reedy, what island home are you visiting for this particular holiday?
No, we're right here in Mount Pleasant. We got all the family coming over here tomorrow, so we'll be right here.
That's very nice. The Golden Bachelor, Coach Johnson. How are you?
I am fine. I'm sort of in the same boat as Chuck. They got to travel to me.
That's
nice.
nice.
Because Charlie can't. He's got practice and can't leave. So I said, "Well, if y'all want Charlie at the meal, then come up here and eat at my place."
Now, do you do the cooking? Are you a
No, honey baked ham is my cook. and then I was asked to be in charge of napkins, utensils, plates, and something else. I can't even remember what it was. I probably forgot to do something. I'll hear about it tomorrow.
That's awesome. Honey baked ham. Nothing like honey baked ham being delivered for you. Okay,
nothing like that price tag.
Ooh, I imagine. Okay, by the way, just seeing here, Brian Kelly has received a termination letter from LSU, and the school will pay the full buyout. $54 million over 6 years. Ellis, your thoughts?
Well, the whole thing went back and forth. And of course, you don't know what you're reading. You don't know the contract. The lawyers know. I'm a little surprised we got it all, because when you're fooling around trying to fight a state government, and politicians, governors, and all those people get involved, and you got all these attorneys, some of them on the board, and some of them, involved in it in other ways. They've got so many different ways they can wind you around in circles, but apparently his contract was pretty airtight, and he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do anything other than not win enough games in their minds, Chuck. I mean, he won a lot of games that probably at a lot of places he'd have a lifetime contract, just not good enough for LSU.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit premature. I mean, like I said, the guy all games, and he's got a great record. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. But same thing at Notre Dame. He really never could win the big ones, and that's kind of what got him at LSU.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Palmetto Bowl. South Carolina, Clemson. Gamecocks are a slight favorite. Chuck, what do you see are a couple of things South Carolina must do to win the game from an offensive standpoint?
Well, I think it all depends on Lenore Sellers. If he plays like he did last week, obviously against a lesser opponent, but if he plays like he did a year ago, I think they'll win the football game. The thing that I see that I think will be a big difference in this game. South Carolina has played a brutal schedule. They've played 5 or 6 teams better than anybody on Clemson's schedule. Mm-hmm. And, I think, when it comes right down to it, they've been in the fire. Now, they didn't win any of them, but they played Alabama, they played Texas A&M, they played those people, and they played them close. Clemson just hasn't, they haven't played that caliber of a schedule. And, I think that works to South Carolina's advantage in a close football game.
All right, Ellis, from a Clemson defensive standpoint, facing Lenore Sellers and the Gamecock offense, and that they're still fuming at themselves for the defensive breakdowns late in that game last year, the tackling breakdowns, all that. I mean, how much time do you think they have put into tackling and getting people down on the ground? Or is that something that you shouldn't have to be doing here the 12th week of the season?
I mean, it's too late now. If they can't tackle for 11 weeks, you're not going to fix it in 3 days. But, I do think this year they play a little bit more zone than they used to. And when quarterbacks get in the perimeter, you got a little better chance of hemming them up and getting more than one person to the ball. And that's the key to getting that guy on the ground. You better try to get 2 or 3, because the first one may trip him up and slow him down, but it's the second and third one that get him on the ground. So, it's going to be a huge challenge for him. Personally, I think Chuck's already mentioned the big one. That's the opponents that they faced. And assuming they're both coming in reasonably healthy, I know they've got some good players out on both teams. But I think South Carolina's defensive line against Clemson's offensive line is a little bit of a favorite to South Carolina. I think their special teams have maybe been a little bit more helpful to them this year than Clemson's has. I even think South Carolina's receivers right now. I like that matchup in the secondary. Clemson, I think their defensive front's going to give Carolina's offensive line some trouble. But I don't know what – I wouldn't begin to predict this game, guys. If you look at these two seasons, they got to be scratching their head when they look back on it and try to do quality control. What happened to us? I don't know how you figure it out. It's just really unbelievable how poorly their seasons have gone, considering how optimistic it was at one time.
Absolutely. So Clemson's defensive strategy, you expect them to play a lot of zone and just rush with just 4 for the most part, maybe 5, and stay away from man coverage that would open up running territory for Sellers?
I think that's a little bit more their philosophy on regular downs. Now, what I've been a little surprised about them this year, they've blitzed a lot. And if you talk about you got NFL players on the front 4, they got to be generating some pressure for you on pass situations, or it's not helping the team. So I'm not sure. I just think that I think they're good matchups against South Carolina's offensive line. I think they'll get to him, but one guy doesn't usually affect him that much. So what I've seen people do this year against Sellers that has been a little bit better is that instead of trying to beat people on the edge and get around and sack him or run stunts up inside and try to get somebody free, they seem to be kind of squeezing him in the pocket because that's where he's the weakest. He doesn't see things very well. He doesn't make real good decisions. He doesn't make accurate throws. When you go in there and take a shot at him and he gets loose, now he's got the advantage. And it just seems to me people have done a little bit better job with that philosophy. That's just watching it on TV. It may not have been the game plan at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more man you play against him, the more chance you've got of him getting out of the barn. And when he does, it's going to be his advantage at that time.
All right, let's go to the Clemson offense. Coach Reedy and, Klubnik overlooked last year because of the late interception. The loss was that he had a good game against South Carolina. Threw the ball well, ran the ball effectively, and he's coming in kind of on a heater. He's played some pretty good football down the stretch. His numbers are good. He's protected the football pretty well here down the stretch. So offensively, how do you think Clemson will attempt to attack the Gamecock defense?
Well, as you said, Klubnik, I think, has played really well the latter half of the season. He basically eliminated turnovers, and that'll be the key. Obviously, which of the quarterbacks turns the ball over. But Clemson, they've got to be able to run the ball, take pressure off of Klubnik. But I think that I think it'll come down to really a matchup of the two quarterbacks. I mean, which of the two quarterbacks plays the best? Which one protects the ball the best? And like I said, Klubnik has done a good job of that. During the latter part of the season.
Do you think that they'll try to generate much of a running game?
Well, I think so, and they rested Randall last week. I mean, he carried the ball twice, and as I mentioned before, I mean, I think he got banged up a little bit because he was carrying the load. Now they've got Davidson in there a lot the last 3 or 4 games and giving him some reps and letting him get some carries, and that's taking the pressure off of Randall. But Randall's the guy, and he should be healthy. He should be fresh. And, certainly they're going to try to run the football. And I think, I think that will be a key for them. They can't just get one-dimensional and throw the ball 40, 50 times. If they do that, they'll have a hard time winning the game.
How big a role do you think Antonio Williams will play? How many times, how many different ways will they try to get him the football?
Well, if I was going in, I would say we're going to get him the ball 10 times, one way or the other, whether that be on reverses or, quick screens, whatever. You get the ball in his hands. I mean, he's certainly the best playmaker they've got. And, I'd find ways, and certainly I'm sure that they have, to get the ball in his hands at least 10 or 12 times.
All right. Coach Johnson, South Carolina's defense, looking at that Clemson offense, how do you account for, as you're planning, how do you account for Antonio Williams and the different creative ways that they may try and get him the football?
Well, I just think they've got to be aware of it. There's nothing they can do schematically to any great degree. It's very hard to double inside receivers, especially when they move in motion or, run jet motions, whether we give them the ball or fake it to them. It makes it almost impossible to double them. They've got to tackle him well in the open field. I think Chuck would agree with this. Whichever team, if either, can generate some running game with a running back, and I'm not talking about the quarterback having to do it, although, that counts.
Mm-hmm.
But if either one of them gets a running back going, they're going to have a huge advantage in the ball game because it's going to take a lot off of them. Probably more important for Clemson to get a running back or running backs going in the game to get the pressure off Klubnik than it is for South Carolina, on the other hand, because, Morris can be his own running back. And Klubnik's dangerous too, but he can't run it 15 times.
Oh.
Norris could run it 20 times if they need him to win this game. So that's going to be a huge factor. And, of course, we've already talked about turnovers, and that's always big.
How do you expect the Clemson offensive line will handle South Carolina's defensive ends? Do you think they'll take Lee on the left side, Miller on the right side, and let them try to block Thomas and Stewart, respectively, one-on-one? Those are veteran offensive tackles. Do they need help? Would you expect that Clemson will have somebody help those guys against those defensive ends?
I think if it's an obvious passing situation and they put those two tackles on those two kids one-on-one, they're going to end up getting their offense stopped every time. I don't think they can block them one-on-one when it's obviously, a passing situation. Now, when they're running first down, second down football, and they're able to do some things to them with some blocking schemes and such, or maybe play actions or quick screens or bootlegs and that kind of stuff, it makes them less effective. But those two kids, I don't care how old they are, they cannot block those two edge kids consistently without any help.
What do you think, Chuck? If you're handling Clemson's offense, you have to be concerned about those defensive ends. But you got two veteran, big offensive tackles, but do you not think they can handle those guys one-on-one?
Well, I would say this, they better be able to, because if there's not, you can give them a little bit of help, but, you're not going to be able to give them much help now. And you got two seniors that have, been there for 4 years. You got to say, hey, Miller, I don't know. I think last year he went the whole season without giving up a sack, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know if that's right. I think I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
You got two 4-year guys. If they can't block them, then they're going to be in trouble. The thing you got to do is stay out of those third and long situations. And that's what you got to try to do is keep from getting in those situations where those guys can really tee it off on the edge.
And conversely,
I don't know if there's a better offensive line in America than Texas A&M. And those two ends lived in their backfield for 30 minutes till they got a solution on it. They've about destroyed the whole football game.
What was their solution?
Well, I think they started doing some different things. Threw a lot more quick balls. Second half, got it out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was even on RPOs and stuff like that. I don't know whether they were missing blocks or they were defeating blocks. But, he hit the RPO one time. It was a terrible decision. The quarterback, he was eating the ball. But he had both dive and the quarterback disrupted. He tried to throw the ball, jump up, throw it over their head. Ends up being a fumble, backwards pass. Had another one similar to it later on. One of them was in the red zone. Should have been a touchdown or a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So they're dangerous. And like Chuck said, if you get in obvious pass situations, you're going to have a hard time with them, I think.
Chuck, can South Carolina's offensive line, as poor as it's been for most of the season, though this will be the third straight game if they start the same five in the same positions, be the third straight game they've done that. I think that's the first time this season they've had three consecutive games with the same starting five on the offensive line in the same five positions. So maybe they're kind of growing together. But can they handle Clemson's defensive front?
Well, I don't know that they can, but I think they have gotten better. Like you said, they're healthier. I do think, as we've said before, Sean Elliott is a really good football coach, and I think, he's had, a month or so now to work with that group, and they've gotten better. Clemson, those guys up front for Clemson, they're all, they were all first-round draft picks, not all of them, but two or three of them, and, they haven't played to that level. I mean, I think T.J. Parker's got 2 sacks in 11 games. And he's supposedly a first-round draft pick. So it just depends, I think, on how well those Clemson, if they play up to the to their talent level, I think it'll be hard for South Carolina to block them. But so far this year, they hadn't played up to that level.
Ellis, where has the Clemson defensive front been this year?
I don't. The most productive kid individually has been the kid from Purdue. In statistics. Now, somebody maybe matching up on those other guys, doing some things to take care of them and leaving him in a position to make a lot of plays, sort of like the kid at South Carolina last year on the opposite side of Stewart. But I don't know. I mean, there's been times where inside guys have been disruptive. A lot of times those guys don't get a sack, but it still destroy the pass play with penetration or push. So there's some of that too. Sacks are not the only way you can affect people's passing games. But it's been a puzzle today, and maybe it's just a philosophy, but I keep seeing them blitz 6 and 7 people on passing situations to get to quarterbacks. And it's puzzling to me when you've got that kind of talent up front that's necessary.
Yeah, and PFF said that if you follow PFF, it rated the South Carolina offensive line the worst in the country on just the 4-man rush. You don't need to blitz. I don't know if Clemson's paid attention to that, but if you go by that kind of analytics, you've not had to blitz to put pressure on Sellers. He's had more pressure on him from a 4-man rush than any other quarterback in the country, from what they say. So,
yep. But remember one more thing that Chuck said very early on, and I had it in my notes before we got on the phone. The 2 schedules these teams have played is absolutely 2 different highways. And Clemson, not only is it a softer conference, Clemson didn't play Virginia, Pitt, or SC, or they did play at SMU. They got beat. Georgia Tech, they got beat. They didn't play Miami. Duke, they got beat. Every one of the top 6 teams in the conference that they played, they got beat. And the ones they beat, they're all ranked down at the bottom of the conference. So the performance and inconsistency and the level of competition, South Carolina had the number 6 team in the nation beaten and had the number 3 team in the nation beat, and they didn't win. So they got to figure out how to close the game. But their track that they've run down here the last 8 games and the track Clemson run down, it's just 2 different things.
Excellent points. Gentlemen, have a great Thanksgiving. You enjoy your ham, Ellis. And, Chuck, I know you've got the biggest, baddest bird ready to be eaten on Thursday. So,
putting it on the big green egg in the morning.
I'll listen to you. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. We really appreciate you. We're thankful to have you guys on with us and as friends. And we'll talk to you next week. We'll reflect on things and see how it plays out.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. Ellis Johnson and Chuck Reedy. Of course, I call them friends. It's another case where I call them friends. Hopefully they call me a friend. I call them friends. It's like Josh. Josh calls me, the plumber calls me a friend. I don't necessarily call him a friend. He's an employee. I can't have friendship with employees.
Independent contractor.
All right, we'll give you a little recruiting after the break. We do have Lee now rescheduled for 7:52. 7:52, Sterling Picks.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
The difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
All right, let's get to recruiting, brought to you by Seawell's. Daily Luncheon Buffet resumes next week. Make plans to get there. Best in the catering business, that is Seawell's. Give them a call and let them help you with your special event. Got to move quickly. Clemson target, cornerback Julian Peterson, committed to North Carolina. North Carolina's been soaking up the commitments here. 27 offensive tackle Nate Carson Irmo will be at South Carolina Saturday. He also tells us he'll make his commitment announcement July 3rd. 27 Irmo defensive end Jaden Bryant at South Carolina Saturday. Greenwood receiver Jay Duncan visiting. 28 defensive end Chase Foster of Hampton, Georgia. 28 athlete William Harris, Duluth, Georgia. 27 offensive tackle Kamel Tillman of Rockingham. 27 linebacker Jackson Ross of Hammond. 27 receiver Amari Patterson of Bluffton. 29 quarterback Bear Woods. All those folks planning to visit South Carolina Saturday. M&M boys coming up.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's your Thanksgiving weekend forecast. Clear and chilly this evening. A cold front arrives. Our low is 39. Tomorrow for Turkey Day, mostly sunshine in our sky, but we'll only have a high warming to 59. Tomorrow night's low, frigid, 28. Now Friday, plentiful sunshine, but high temperature of only 51. While on Saturday at Williams-Brice, quite cold. Kickoff at noon, temperature around 46 degrees. Have a great Thanksgiving. Safe travels. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
Seat. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. 2 West Virginia National Guard members who deployed to the nation's capital were shot just blocks from the White House in a brazen act of violence that the mayor described as a targeted attack. FBI Director Kash Patel and Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser said the Guard members were hospitalized Wednesday in critical condition. A suspect who was in custody also was shot and had wounds that were not believed to be life-threatening. Federal judges have allowed North Carolina to use a redrawn congressional map designed to give Republicans an additional U.S. House seat. The map targets the state's only swing seat, held by Democratic Representative Don Davis. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 314 points. More details at srnnews.com.
This is Fran Halloran. Tune into my show, The Intentional Living Power Hour, on Thursday mornings from 9 to 10 for simple and practical financial coaching on The Point, 100.7 FM, 1470 AM, Columbia's local talk radio experience.
Lots of plumbing companies out there. Few are truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
Imagine a cozy and cool evening, the leaves changing outside, your family gathered by a warm, welcoming fire. No need for shivers this season. At Bart Fireside, we spark our cooler months with the finest selection of fireplaces. From the sleek electric to rustic wood burning, we have the perfect heart of your home waiting. Serving the Midlands since 1979, Bart Fireside is more than a store. It's a warm tradition. Online at bartfireside.com or call 772-7364 and enjoy those cooler nights in comfort.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place, just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
It's the M&M Boys on Sports Talk with former Clemson offensive lineman Will Merritt and former South Carolina linebacker Corey Miller on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Ordinarily, we'd have Corey Miller, Will Merritt on Thursday, but we've pardoned these two turkeys and moved them up to Wednesday because of Thanksgiving. Welcome, gentlemen. Former Clemson star offensive lineman Will Merritt. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir. Great to have you with us.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, and hope you're well. I hope y'all get to spend some good family time this week with your loved ones.
Absolutely. Let's welcome in former Gamecock star, NFL standout, linebacker, defensive end, the pastor of pain. He has a flock to tend to as well, besides us. Corey Miller, happy Thanksgiving to you, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving and greetings and salutations to everybody. Blessings, and looking forward to eating some good food tomorrow. Try not to be a gluttonous. That's a word, but I'll do my best to confine myself and just eat moderation. But looking forward to. I'm actually down here at the coast at Myrtle Beach this Thanksgiving, so it should be fun.
Nice. Well, if Dabo can use the word funnest, you can use the word gluttonous It'd make it
Okay.
work. It'd make it work. All right, well, here we are, just a couple of days away. Will, how are you feeling based on what you know, what you've seen, what you've heard about Clemson? How are you feeling going in?
Well, I feel about the way I did last week. I don't know that you know any more after, a win over Furman when your starters don't play the second half. So I don't know that you know a whole lot more than you did going into last Saturday, other than the fact that you lost some more players. You did have some injuries, and you had a couple of more guys that are not going to be available. That's kind of a bummer that our injured reserve list has increased right prior to the rivalry game. But as far as, last week we talked about what to manage your expectations and to keep everything in check. Obviously beating Florida State and beating Louisville on the road, those are good wins, but you really don't know who you beat in those teams because they have faltered down the stretch as well. The only thing I will say going into this week is I feel like that the attitude was drastically changed last week. I didn't feel like that it was just a ho-hum, here's another ball game. I really think they took it serious being senior day. They knew it was their last time playing at home where they have won so many ball games over the last 4 years. So I thought it was a very special day. Obviously, Military Appreciation Day is always my favorite day of the year because of the way that Clemson honors their military heritage in their university. However, all that being said, Phil, as far as a football, if you just want to talk X's and O's, I honestly can't tell you that I know a whole lot more about our team than I did last week, other than the fact that you're probably going to see multiple quarterbacks play on Saturday.
Whoa. You think, when you say multiple, you thinking Chris Denson's going to get some run?
I do. I think he'll get some snaps. I think Vazinda's going to get some snaps. And I'm not saying they're going to be, by no means, so I think the game will have to be out of hand one way or the other for this to happen. I think they'll work them in some pivotal situations, potentially first, second quarter. I could see all three of them have gotten some type of snaps, even if it's a specialty package, for those quarterbacks, the backup quarterbacks, even if it's a specialty run play, direct snap, bubble screens, short plays, check downs, some things to get them comfortable. But I do believe you will see multiple quarterbacks Saturday.
Ooh, okay. Corey, how you feeling about the Gamecocks, especially now what you're hearing from Will?
Well, don't shock me. I mean, they got their reserve list is long, and this is a game that it is a rivalry game, but for me, it don't feel like anything, to be honest with you. I'm excited how they bounced back and played a good Coastal Carolina football team, though. Again, mine's their best player, the quarterback, didn't play in the game, but South Carolina looked extremely well. The offense was very fluid. I thought the offense, the play calling was very nice. They're trying some different packages, some different plays. But I don't know. I mean, listen, I might have told you this, Phil, but I look at both these teams I watch all year long. Even though South Carolina's 4-7, I think they are a better football team. I think they played a much difficult schedule. They are more game-tested, game-ready. They played against some of the best teams in the country and held their own, except for maybe a quarter or so. Clemson is limping right now across the finish line. Cade is kind of beat up. The offensive line is beat up. Defensively, I look at Clemson. They've not been really good. We thought Tom Allen was going to be a great piece for them, but unfortunately, they haven't been any better defensively, maybe even worse. I think South Carolina matches up well against Clemson with the defensive line back going to be healthy. Dylan Stewart's going to play. They're going to get that offensive line fits. They can run. The secondary is Johnny on the spot. They're fast. They intercept the ball. So I think the defense matches up well against Clemson's offense. And I think this offensively, South Carolina with Lenore Sellers has been the X factor. Clemson's not really sure what they're going to see with this offense now without Mike Shula. I just think South Carolina's a better all-around football team. I really do. And I'm just saying that to be a homer. I just think they play good football. Their record is not indicative of how good his team can be if they put it together. But again, that's a big word, if they go out there and put it together. And we've seen just the opposite. So who knows? I mean, I wish this game meant more. I wish it had more implications. I wish it was like last year. Both teams was looking to make the college football playoffs. It was a great game, a great atmosphere up at Clemson. It meant something. This year, it's just kind of like South Carolina win. Yeah, you want the state rivalry game, obviously, but then you're going home for Clemson. Maybe to Texas, maybe somewhere else for a bowl game. But I don't know. I don't know how the players feel about this one because there's really just not a lot on the line. It's bragging rights. I mean, and then when both teams brag, they're going, both our teams are really not that good. So what am I bragging about? That's what I've heard at my church. All Clemson fans, around South Carolina, their fans are not really excited like that, like they used to be. So I think they're more disappointed because, they came into the season top 15 ranked in the country, and then it's just been a just utter disappointment.
Will, when you look at Clemson and the things that we know about the way they perform, what's the one thing they've got to do exceptionally well that maybe they haven't done exceptionally well this season to win this game?
Well, I think that starts at multiple positions. I think that's a kind of a loaded question, Phil, because and I'll tell you why I think it is because every single week I feel like it's something different. I mean, I really feel like that one week I'm like, man, if we could have run the football, this would have gone different. Oh, my gosh, if we could have just stayed with them in the secondary, this would have gone differently. Holy smacks, if our wide receivers have not dropped 37 passes tonight, we would have won this ball game. I mean, it bounced around from excuse to excuse, reason to reason, and different scenarios that continue to play itself out in horrific nature. So I think that's a good question, but it's a hard one to answer. I'll tell you right now, if Clemson wins the ball game, which I do think Clemson's going to win the game, I do like the road team in this rivalry, and I'll tell you another reason here in a minute. But I will say this, if Clemson wins the ball game, two things have happened. Adam Randall is going to have his best game of the entire season. That's got to happen. Adam Randall will have to get into a rhythm like he did at Louisville. He will have to be clipping off, 5, 6, 7 yards at a time. We will have to be able to run the ball in order for South Carolina to draw their guys up into the box. To me, that's the only recipe for success over the top against South Carolina. Have success inside the box between the tackles. If you do that, then all of a sudden your safeties are going to they'll go into different coverages, and I promise you, once that box is loaded, Cade is good enough with time to throw the ball downfield. We've seen that. Okay, I mean, he's thrown for 2,500 yards this year. Obviously, he's been very, very poignant with the football. He's been very safe with the football over the last couple of weeks. If he does that, then Clemson will have a chance for big plays. Defensively, my biggest thing is, Corey mentioned the Tom Allen thing. I got to say one thing about that is, yeah, I understand that the coordinators are going to they're going to have the flaming arrows, thrown their way every single week, and they should because of the salaries and because of the expectations and everything that goes along with those positions outside of just the head coach. But I will say that Clemson's been in position. Our players have been in position to make plays and have not made plays. And if there's two guys that you talk to all the time, I believe it would be Corey and myself both say, look, a coach can only get you in the right position so many times, and then you've got to go make the play.
Yep.
Same question for you, Corey, from a Gamecock standpoint. From what you've seen this season, what is it that they've got to excel at that they have not really excelled at so far this season, if they can find that?
For me, Phil, it's just finishing. It's just playing a complete 60-minute football game, not a great first half or a great second half, but how about putting one together from start to finish, from opening to close, protecting the football, playing with great energy, great effort, which they normally do, but finishing. This team just has had trouble finishing football games when they've been ahead in the fourth quarter. Alabama, Oklahoma, some of these teams, Texas A&M, great football teams that could have been wins, and they could not, for whatever reason, finish. Now, here, I'm going to say this. This game is South Carolina has more to lose in this game, and I'm going to tell you why. No, it's not about bowl games. But Clemson, and I can't even remember, since Dabo has been there, maybe it's first year that this team has been bad. I mean, this bad. Losing games, not looking good. People have just been honest, like Will and the fan base, and listen, every week is something different. This is not your typical last 14, 15 years of Dabo Swinney. good Clemson teams. South Carolina at home. You cannot lose this game to one of the worst teams Dabo has coached, period. So if you lose this game, I think for Coach Beamer, next year really is going to be a make or break for him, or he's going to have trouble. You cannot lose this game when Clemson is down at the worst than they've been in a long time. And I do believe that South Carolina is a better team, but again, I haven't seen this team but one time play pretty much a complete game, and that was last week against Coastal Carolina. That is the only time, period.
I think you broke your phone. We got all broken up there. We'll go back to Corey in a second. Let's wrap it up, guys. I got about a minute here, so let me get the final picks, the rivalry meter reading as we go into the game on Saturday afternoon at high noon. Will Clemson's won 5 in a row in Columbia? Will they make it 6? Go ahead. Say it again.
Can you hear me? Y'all are breaking up on me pretty bad.
Now it sounds good. Yes.
Okay. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I didn't get any part of what your question was.
Yeah, just simply meter reading time. What you got?
Yeah, okay, got you. Well, this I'll say this: my daughter, my middle daughter, my 18-year-old, who's a freshman at Clemson, she has taken her first trip ever to Billy Bryce. She's never been there before. She's going down there with 5 of her friends from Clemson. She has not been to a losing game yet this year. She's my good luck charm. Therefore, I'm telling you, Jesse Wren's going to bring a win back to Tiger Town for us.
All right, Corey, what you got? 30 seconds, bro.
Mine is easy. It's a W for Williams Bryce Stadium. Sandstorm will be rocking. Fans will be happy. They go into the offseason with some momentum. And Shane Beamer will be back smiling and laughing with you again, Phil, because I know he gives you a hard time. But this is going to be a win for South Carolina because they know just what I said. It is a must-win to get this program back on good footing. Go Gamecocks. And I'm going to throw some anointing on. I'm going down and pray here at the beach with me some oil, and then I'm going to come and sprinkle it all over that.
You better be careful which beach you at. You might be monkey dust that you be bringing back with you before long.
Well, I'm at Dirty Myrtle, so I don't like that beach myself. I have to walk across the street.
All right. Y'all be careful. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Hey, same to you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. Many blessings to everybody.
Y'all too.
And everybody's listening. God bless you.
We love having you guys with us. We'll catch up with you next week. Appreciate you so much. All right, M&M boys. Of course, you knew they were going to pick their respective teams. That's what they do. But I think, Corey, South Carolina's got to feel like this is a game they got to win while they got Clemson where they got them right now. And they got them at home. I mean, it does point in their direction, I would say. And we'll be back with Lee Sterling.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III. Heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work, and it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5.
180! What's it?
Many of South Carolina's top high school seniors meet in one unforgettable showdown in Myrtle Beach. It's the 78th Annual Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl. Hi, I'm Phil Kornblue. Join me Saturday, December 13th at noon, live on your Sports Talk Media Network affiliate and streaming on all of our social media channels. Don't miss the pride, the passion, and the tradition of the Touchstone Energy Bowl, powered by your local Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. Get your tickets now at touchstoneenergybowl.com.
Avoiding excess financial stress from the holidays doesn't take a Christmas miracle. All it takes is a Christmas loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. Our Christmas loan is designed to ease your Yuletide expenses and help you relax so you can focus on what matters most, spreading joy and love. With our great rates and flexible repayment options, unexpected expenses like decorating, last-minute gifts, or holiday travel accommodations won't break your budget. Plus, you'll get exceptional service that'll make you want to sing, so you can be confident and ready for whatever the holidays might throw your way. Make this holiday season the best one yet when you unwrap some Christmas magic of your own with a Christmas loan. Relax. Put more joy in your budget with Founders Federal Credit Union. Visit an office near you or foundersfcu.com/magic today. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
All right, let's wrap it up on this Wednesday night. A visit with our good friend Lee Sterling. Time for some Sterling picks. Lee, of course, you can find his stuff at ParamountSports.com. Welcome in, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the fam. You're coming off a 2-2 week for us last week, so let's get to work. We got about 4 minutes, so let's get to work. Let's get at it.
Okay.
Let's begin with your hometown team, Miami, 6.5 against Pittsburgh.
Well, I think Miami has more talent. A couple problems, though. We've only faced one decent quarterback all year, and what happened in that game? Miami lost that game. They went to SMU, and Mr. Jennings did a number on them, and I mean, they were definitely helped by the penalties also, but I think this is a tough matchup here for Miami. Mason Henschel looked great last week. This is the game that they want. And the weather, that's the biggest thing. High of like 35 degrees. These Miami kids, they want no part of that, especially on defense here. Miami hasn't won a big game on the road, cold weather, since I can remember. I think Pitt's the right side here. Wrong team favored. Pitt straight up 27-24.
Oh, and bye-bye playoffs. Texas A&M and Texas, and it's Aggies, 2.5-point favorites on the road.
Yep, and I think this line should be 4.5, 5. I think everyone's just waiting for A&M to lose, but I think they're holding back on a bunch of the offense. Texas defense started off great against Ohio State, but last 3 games gave up 31 to Vandy, 35 to Georgia, 37 to Arkansas, and they were gifted, Arkansas, no short field. So I think Texas's defense is in trouble because these two receivers, Concepcion and Craver, combined for 99 receptions. They averaged 16 and 17 yards. And their third guy, Ashton Bethel Roman, he averages 25 yards a reception. And A&M, their strength on defense, getting to the quarterback, 39 sacks. That is Texas's weakness, their offensive line. Texas A&M stays unbeaten, 38-31.
Yeah, those receivers, we saw them in person covering the Gamecocks out there, and they're special. Let's jump to, because our time is tight, let's get to that South Carolina-Clemson game. Yep. Gamecocks favored 2.5 at home.
Well, what's interesting is Clemson scores more on the road. South Carolina, I think they've got a tough matchup here, unless we can see Superman Lenore Sellers, like last year's game, 16 carries, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think they're in trouble. I think the Clemson skill level talent is the difference here. Clemson straight up 26-23.
Clemson on the road, 6 wins in a row at Williams-Brice. All right, we got time. Let's do Tennessee, favored by 2.5 against Vandy.
Yep. So last year, went back and watched the game. 36-23 win for Tennessee at Vandy. Well, it wasn't lucky. 528 to 212 yard total advantage here. And Vanderbilt, they like to play slow. 126 out of 136 teams only get off 61 plays. Tennessee plays fast. 13th in the country, over 73 snaps per game here. I think they're going to wear down Vanderbilt. Joey Swagillar gets the win here, 35-28.
Very good. And your game of the week is Alabama, favored by 5.5 against Auburn. What do you have special this weekend going into the holiday weekend at the website?
Well, they can get Alabama-Auburn for free. Call 800-400-9741. The game is on me, and it's the Turkey Shootout. 15 games, just $97. We've had one 14-1 record, a couple 13-2, 12-3, and last year 11-4 record. Not bad. 7 more wins and losses. 15 games, just $97. ParamountSports.com.
Happy holidays, my friend. Have a great Thanksgiving with the fam, and we'll talk to you next week.
Same. Back at you, Phil. Take care.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right, Lee Sterling. That's going to do it for tonight. No show tomorrow night. Back on Friday with our Friday night football extravaganza, Founders Federal Football Friday night, as we take you into game day. Get your final thoughts. And, of course, high school football, upper and lower state championship games as we get ready to set the stage for state championship games. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, safe travels. Eat, eat, eat. Eat. I don't care what they say. Eat. Eat, plumber. Eat. You look famished. And, of course, everybody, one thing, let's pull for the Packers tomorrow. It's all I ask. Everybody come together, support the Packers.
Go Lions.
Y'all have a great one. That's all we got. See you on Friday.
Go Lions.